So, what are we talking here? Is it like a case of pre-jet setting jitters, or yeah, a little bit of the travel, a little bit of the getting there? I understand. It's a common problem, especially when it's travel that is neither business nor is it pleasure. It is a specific kind of travel. I want to use the word pilgrimage, but that's kind of a heavy word. Yeah, right. But it is the kind of travel where you're making a concerted effort on the part of something, not necessarily someone, but something greater than yourself, a coming together, part of a tradition. I get it, it's alright, I get it. The thing about pilgrimages is they're difficult things. In Zen it's called the wearing down of the sandals. And it's a very necessary part of life. It can be a very healthy part of life. Just as distant travel is good for the soul, so is this. And just as distant travel requires inoculations, travel a little more closer to home, or toward home, requires the equivalent. And that's what we're going to administer to you tonight. A little psychic inoculation, a little something to ease this sense of travel, of coming out of yourself, of perhaps facing a rather uncomfortable homecoming this season of seasons. We're just going to start. Alright, well, first of all, I think we're just going to ground you. And ground is a terrible, terrible word to use tonight. Because we're not doing anything with the ground at all. We're not rolling around in the dirt anymore. What I want you to do is come up for me. Come up. Come up. Come up. Up, 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 up. Like a good little puppy, just come up. Just come up for me. I want you between the earth and sky. I want you floating free, a nice, free radical. Just floating there between earth and sky. And to focus, really focus on the core of your being. Take it down, take it to the very solar plexus. Just down. Down. Into this little ball right at your core. You can feel it pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. The very core of your being. And I just want you to take a deep breath in and out. Feeling the space around you and this tiny little core that is beginning to grow, beginning to gently grow until you can feel it just filling your abdomen, like the breath just filling the abdomen, coming out, coming out, coming out. Just moving up into your chest, down your arms, down your legs, up through your throat, up through your face, through your temples, up to the top of your head. This energy and still floating, yeah, just still floating. I want you to feel it growing roots, not just from your feet anymore, not just from your feet, but everywhere, 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 everywhere growing roots, reaching out. If you like, to use as reference, you might think of an orchid in a greenhouse, suspended in a little pot and sending out roots into clear, pure space. Feeling out for what's there. I didn't need to find anything. They're just stabilizing things. Just stabilizing things. Or if you like a more familiar houseplant, the Monstera deliciosa, which also sends out aerial roots to stabilize itself. Sending out these roots, they don't need to find anything to latch on to. They're just spreading. You are just spreading out all this clear, beautiful space. Catching flight on the wind. Now I feel like I really want to apologize to you, because usually when I'm putting in the more well-known Reiki symbols, I tend to fly through them. I do my little scribbly thing, which is very, very disrespectful. But I usually just scribble them into you. Tonight, we're going to just pay attention to one very important one. And that is, of course, the distance symbol. We're just going to take it slow. It's going to be like slicing down you. A nice hon. Sha. Ze. Sho. Nen. Nice and slow. Really respecting the concept of distance, of space and time, and what it is that transcends them, because what transcends them is willpower. Willpower, which is often disrespected in Reiki, because we attribute it to the energy of the universe, of course, and that is what is coming through me right now and into you, but it is the willpower on your part to accept it, and the willpower on mine to act as a conduit of Hon. Sha. Ze. Sho. Nen. This energy filling you whenever you're feeling fatigued by traveling the distance, and the distances that you have to cross when you get there, because as everyone knows, it can be a little bit tricky dealing with other people. think it was Thoreau who said, "No exertion of the legs can bring two hearts closer to one another." And he was very, very right. You have to travel an emotional distance as well as a physical distance. Hon. Sha. Ze. Sho. Nan. And that is to get you across all these barriers. Is to alleviate the motion sickness and the turbulence of flights, of bumpy roads, of bumpy relationships, of tumultuous people and tumultuous situations. Good, good. Well, I want to introduce you to a little friend of mine. It took me ages to catch this little thing. I have here some hematite, some very spirited little hematite. Say hello, say hello, say hello. Don't try and say hello to the nice people. Say hello to the nice people. It's alright, they're not gonna hurt you. They're friends. They're friends. Hematite is very, very good for traveling because of its large iron quantity. It's quite magnetic. So it's going to help alleviate the electromagnetic fields that are going to interfere with you if you happen to be in an airport or crossing under power lines or whatever. You are a spirited little guy, aren't you? In the folklore in northern England, back in the day, they would use these as talismans. Because warriors, well, soldiers, believed that they would prevent excessive blood flow when wounded, and souls from exiting the body a little bit prematurely. Hence the name hematite or bloodstone. Sounds cool, right? We're going to use this little guy and his friends to put some stabilizing energy into you. And don't worry, I know he seems quite active. I assure you, this is still very vegan friendly. He is quite willing to give a little bit of his energy. Ain't you, buddy? Ain't you, buddy? Yeah. Yeah. So while I hook myself up here, I want to hop across the pond, hop across many, many ponds to the land of Japan and bring in another friend, namely old Jizo. That little guy who sits by the roadside in a lot of rural Japanese communities. He's a bodhisattva. And if you like to play the Steely Dan song in your head, by all means go ahead. But he is the patron somewhat of travelers. And his mantra is Om Ka Ka Kabi-san Mai Soa Ka. Well, that's how I learned it, at least. So, the Greek chorus in back is going to play that, along with a little singing bowl, while I cut some shapes in front of you. Don't worry, it's not meaningless. I'm hooked up with my hematite. We're going to put some very powerful, stabilizing energy into you. And I just want you to listen. Just listen to the eternal affirmations of Jizo as I put energy into you, beginning now. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Coming into your head. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Om ga 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 vi san mai so ga. Om ga 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 vi san mai so. Bring your head up for me a little bit. Just bring your head up a little bit. I just want to get you under here. On your thyroid. Consequently, I am making this under a nice full moon in Gemini. So we're here at your throat chakra. I figured we'd do a little bit of work here for communication to really help you out speaking your truth when you might feel a little bit trodden over in certain circumstances. Just channeling this very powerful magnetic energy into you, into your throat chakra, into your throat chakra. Feeling the gorgeous emotional release of the moon. And Mercury is also coming out of retrograde, so really this is a great time. Great time to just let yourself loose, just let yourself loose, just let yourself loose, and to speak, to speak, to speak. Honestly and candidly, to those who love you, to speak, to speak, to speak, honestly and candidly. Nothing is holding you back. Nothing's holding you back anymore. You're going into this nice new time where all the inhibitions of the past are gone. You are making this pilgrimage, and it is a very, very special one, because it is symbolic of letting go of all your previous inhibitions. It is you doing this purely on your own willpower, on your own gorgeous merit. Chakra, just to feed the distance symbol with power. And why not some Daikumyo to really purge away the last of those inhibitions, because you are stable, you are floating in clear, pure space. Nothing can tie you down anymore. You're yourself, You're free to wander, to travel wherever, and do so with the blessing of those around you. And once again, I'm gonna ask for your forgiveness, 'cause I ain't gonna close you up today. You're gonna close yourself up whenever you feel ready to. And I feel this is appropriate because, I don't know about you, but airports, long car journeys, any kind of journey whatsoever, it makes me feel awfully vulnerable. I don't know why. It's because things are kind of out of my control. If things aren't quite going my way, you don't know what to expect. You're outside of a room. You're outside of a nice controlled environment. You're at the mercy of so many external factors that you just can't help but feeling like a little kid lost in the grocery store, you know. So I want you to hold on to the feeling of being a little bit vulnerable, of having your aura slightly apart from you. You don't have this nice comfortable barrier, but it's right there, as and when you choose to reinstate it. Give me your arm, give me your palm. I'm going to take your palm, I'm going to put into it this grounding symbol of Raku. See it? With the hematite. Raku. You're going to remember it. I'm going to put it into you. On this palm. You remember the feeling. Just remember the feeling. You don't need to remember the shape in your eyes. You don't need to remember the visual component of the thing. Just remember the feeling on your palm. Your other one. Thank you. Penciling it into your palm. Remember the tingles. Here on your palm. Now close them up. Just hold. Feel the energy of that grounding symbol. It's not working yet, but it is yours to hold in the palm of your hand as and when you feel like using it. Hold on to it when you're getting a nice squeeze, when you really feel at your most vulnerable. Be it in the journey there, or the emotional journey when you get there. But just hold on to it. Squeeze it. And then gently let it come together and pour straight into your soul. Happy travels and best of luck.